You're ready for a comeback. And with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. It's time, your time, not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
Sick of paying $100 for groceries and getting nothing but eggs, orange juice, and a paper bag? Then download the Drop app. Drop lets you earn points with your everyday shopping and redeem them for gift cards. Want a free dinner with those groceries? Drop it. How about daily lattes? Drop it. So download Drop today and get $5 just for signing up. Use invite code GetDrop777.
This year, Hyundai features their all-electric Hyundai Ioniq lineup as a proud sponsor of the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas, with 2 high-tech models. The Ioniq 5 can take you an EPA-estimated 303 miles on a single charge and has available two-way charging for electronic equipment inside and outside the car. The Ioniq 6 boasts a mind-blowing range of up to 360 miles and can deliver up to an 80% charge in just 18 minutes with its 800-volt DC ultra-fast charger. Check out Hyundai at the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas as their all-star Ioniq lineup hits the stage like you've never seen before. Hyundai, it's your journey.
Hi everyone, it's Amanda Rieger Green. Welcome to the Soul Sessions podcast. Today we are doing a live reading. And my guest who's agreed to show up and have her reading on air is Carla Marie. Carla Marie is the host of Carla Marie and Anthony Show on Twitch and the Morning Show podcast, a podcast that gives you everything you need to start your day in under 25 minutes. She's also the in-game host for the Seattle Seahawks. You can follow her on Instagram at the Carla Marie. Welcome.
Hi. I can't believe I'm here right now.
I'm so excited. Have you ever had a psychic reading?
I've had, is it called a flame reading?
Like a twin flame, like about love and stuff? That?
My friend did it for me, and it's something where you take the flame of a candle and use the burn, and you do something, and it was like super quick, super short, but that's it. But I'm so intrigued by this. I've always just been so nervous.
Yeah.
So I'm here and I'm ready.
Well, don't worry. I will set you at ease. And also the way that I read is Amanda, I step aside and your soul starts to come through, which is the utter essence of you. So it innately feels comfortable. It feels like you're at home in your own skin, essentially. All the things that you know about yourself that sometimes you can't even put words to. They're impressions and feelings, all the things like that. So
please tell me about myself.
We have to share something really cool to begin with. So my producer and I were back and forth and talking about having you on as a guest the other morning, and she reached out to you via text, and y'all were in the middle of your show and were apparently talking about me at the same time she texted. So we were all on the same wavelength.
It was wild. We were live on our show, and I was saying how I was going to possibly do this with you and how we wanted to get you on our live show on Twitch to read for our audience. And it was in that exact moment that I got that text, and I was like, all right, well, we have to do this because the universe said so.
The universe said so. And divine timing and alignment and then making things happen quickly. I'm going to just start reading because they're giving me information. That's one of the things that you're very good at. You are good at executing. You're an executor. You've been very good at jumping in and playing ball, so to speak. I mean, you also are very competitive, but you're mostly competitive with yourself. But you like to roll up your sleeves and you'll tackle anything that comes down the pipes. The other thing they're showing me at the same time is you have this maturity and this high level of responsibility where sometimes it's hard for you to just be totally loose and free. And freedom is a big story for you in this lifetime where you feel that you can really be yourself, be quirky, because you are quirky, by the way, and you're intelligent and you're quirky and you easily relate to people. You know this already, but being true to yourself, but in all of your quirkiness, all your idiosyncrasies, yet feeling relatable. I mean, that's a huge part of your story. But back to the responsibility. Does that make sense? You were born with, I'm going to to get it done. I'm going to get it done myself. And sometimes stubborn. You are stubborn.
Yeah, I don't like asking for help. And if I do and it's not done immediately, I'll just do it myself. It's not my best trait, but it does get things done.
It does get things done. And interestingly enough, you are in a phase where this is a year of practicing some patience and trusting in relationships. And you have some trust issues. I mean, kind of some big ones. And and it's not that you don't have good friends and people that you trust, but trust is one of those things in this lifetime where you are going to be let down. You are going to be disappointed, but finding resiliency in that. Does that resonate?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's not trust, it's that I think people are out to get me. It's just more of like, I'll do it on my own, I'll be on my own, and I'll be fine.
Okay, so extreme self-reliance, self-sufficiency. So back to the trust piece of that. It's trusting that somebody's going to do something, and whether they do it to your standard or not, because you have very high standards, is being able to let people show up and either do it well or mess up and find some flexibility in that versus always taking everything on. Because at some point, while yes, it's important to be responsible and independent, and you are very independent, but also feeling like you don't have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And this year has kind of felt like that, even though you achieve things at a high level and you get things done well. It also can feel almost like a burden of responsibility or, gosh, I have to get all this done. Nobody's going to do it. I'm going to do it on my own. I know I can do it well. So there's an element of you just pushing through, and it's being able to find some kind of like, okay, flow versus feeling like it's box checking energy. And there's nothing wrong with box checking, but does that resonate?
Every day of my life. And I've always lived like that, but this year it truly has gotten so bad, and we're trying to get into a better routine now, and it's slowly starting to happen, but it's kind of what you just explained has taken over my life and has made it harder for me to actually do things because of that.
Okay, so back to trust. Back to trust. It's, getting up and saying, hey, here's what I need you to do. Here's when I need it done. Can you handle this for me? Are you going to be able to accomplish it? Do you need anything else from me? Like, here's what I need. Here are the facts. Can you do this for me? Can you do it within this time frame? Is there anything else you need from me? And then it's almost like let go and let God kind of energy. And if they don't follow through, follow up, then you respond. Then you use your resiliency and know that the whole world is not going to fall apart, that you're not going to be doomed, to failure, which you're not, but you are a perfectionist. And there's that you want to succeed. I mean, success is a huge part of your storyline, and also respect. Respect is a big thing for you. Is I am respectful. I want to be respected in my field, in what I do. And also, they're talking about your intellect because you're very intelligent, but sometimes you're like, are people going to think I'm smart enough? Are they going to think I'm competent enough? So that's sometimes why the responsibility piles up, because it's like, I can do it. I can prove to myself I can get all this done. And you're outgrowing that. You've proved it. Your experience, your track record already tells the tale, but it's like, you're in a version of yourself a handful of years ago where you were really in the climb. And now it's like, okay, I've got to step back a little bit and realign. Does that resonate?
Yeah, and it came from there was a lot of doubt put on me, and I think I always get pulled back into it a bit, and every time I get a new challenge or a new project that I get to work on, I'm like, oh, but maybe they're regretting hiring me, or maybe it shouldn't have been me, so I'm going to work harder to prove that I do deserve this, so yes.
And first of all, you do deserve the things you've worked for.
Thank you.
And I know you've worked hard, and you like to work hard. Everything in your energy field says that, but this is also a time of unburdening yourself and working smarter, not harder. And this is what they're reflecting back. I heard an interview, years ago, when Michelle Obama wrote her book, Becoming, which is a really brilliant book, by the way. But she was talking about box checking. And I'm a list maker and a box checker. I love doing that. I love to scratch things off my to-do list. But there comes a time when you're just box checking and it's transactional versus accomplishing things, feeling fulfilled, feeling like you're just showing up and finding a deeper sense of usefulness in it versus box checking just to get things done versus with a meaning or a why behind it. That's what's shifting in you innately right now.
And a lot of times I'll have that box checking list and be like, I have all of these things to do. Like, how do I even get it done? How do you tackle that? So yeah, being more mindful of what I'm doing would be a little bit better.
Well, and I tell you what, this is funny because you have a very quick, kind of snarky wit. You have a sinister sense of humor, by the way. It's all over. I'm like, you and I would be friends and we would have the same, I'm just going to say it, kind of raunchy sense of humor and playful. I mean, you are. I can see it all over your field. But what they're showing me is even on your to-do list, like when you're making your list and it has all these things that you're stretching for and reaching for and pushing yourself for, whatever it is, put some stuff on your list that is almost absurd or silly. Today I need to go to the grocery store and buy energy drinks. And I'm going to do that so well. It's almost like put some things on your list that stop you in your tracks so you don't feel like you're taking yourself so seriously. Because that's what's being unbridled from you right now, is being able to freaking enjoy what you do. And it's not that you don't enjoy it, but it's like, okay, I can enjoy it for a little bit, then I got to work really hard. Enjoy it, work, prove myself. And listen, I am all about, okay, I have to prove myself. I have to show everybody I really know what I'm doing. So I resonate with that. But they are saying it's about you, just meeting the moment and enjoying the heck out of yourself, because that's what is coming in the next couple of years, is this sense of empowerment, but empowerment through a lighter heart. And also being flexible with yourself, like forgiving of yourself, graceful with yourself, instead of holding on to the steering wheel with a tight grip.
Yeah, graceful is not a word that describes me ever, so I'll work on that one.
Well, and listen, if graceful doesn't describe you, and which is not surprising because you are, you're very formulaic, which means, it has those kind of linear, more masculine vibes, and you are very compassionate. You are highly sensitive. You have a lot of truly creative and feminine and intuitive traits, but right now they're like way in the background at the bottom of the totem pole. And when you start accessing and harnessing your creativity, your joy, your lightheartedness, your ability to go with the darn flow, it's like you are going to become a professional surfer. It's like riding the waves, and you will feel like you're in your flow. So that's really important. Okay, let's talk about career. What do you want to know? They're talking to me a little bit about career. We're going to talk about love in a minute because they are talking about that too. But what do you want to know about? Let's start with work stuff first. Anything you want to know?
Ready to take your travel style to a whole new level? With Roam, it's all about personalizing your journey. You get to choose the colors of your bag, from the shells to the zippers to the lining and more. And our expert team of hand craftsmen build it for you. With our 100-day free trial and lifetime warranty, it's a no-brainer. Visit RoamLuggage.com today and use code JOURNEY50 for $50 off. And here's a bonus. When you buy 2 or more bags, you'll automatically enjoy a 10% discount. No code needed. Start your design today at RoamLuggage.com.
You're ready for a comeback. And with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. It's time, your time, not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
He'll forget about the video game you gave him on his birthday.
Wow! Thanks, Grandpa!
But he'll never forget how you invested in his future with the UNest app.
Wow. Thanks, Grandpa.
Don't just give them any gift. Give them a gift that can grow with them. Invite grandparents and family friends to contribute to your child's future with the UNest app. UNest is an investment account for kids that makes it easy to gift funds that can be used for college tuition, their first home, and more, just by sharing a link. Or include a UNest QR code on party invitations for birthdays and holidays. For a limited time, download the UNest app and use the code IHEART50 at sign-up to receive a $50 bonus when you fund your account. That's code IHEART50 when you sign up at unest.co for a $50 bonus. See terms and conditions at unest.co.
What do you want to know about? Let's start with work stuff first. Anything you want to know?
So my career has been kind of wild. I had a kind of a long career in radio. I did 10 years, but I haven't been in radio in 3 years. I've been kind of doing everything digitally. My partner and I, we do our own show on Twitch and everything. I got the thing with the Seahawks. And I think my biggest question for myself right now in my life is, but what is going to stick? What is the one thing that is going to be the most successful, or where do I need to put my energy towards? Because it's going to 3 to 4 different things right now as my career, as one thing. So everything I have is going to the show, the podcast, the Seahawks, working on our apparel line. But I'm like, where do I need to take most of the energy and put it? And is it even any of this stuff?
Do you like sports?
I do enjoy sports. It wasn't until I got in with the Seahawks that I really actually fell in love with the sports.
That's all I wanted. You just answered your question because they said, ask her if she likes sports. And I was like, okay. And I fell in love with, you have a synergy there, and you are really good live on your feet. And you know this, even though you're a prepper and you create, your outline or you get ready, you do prep, but you are really good in the moment. And this goes back to that proving yourself experience thing. When you show up and you are on the fly, you tap into something higher because you have no choice but not to, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna show up on and like jump in. That's who you've been since you were a little girl. Even if somebody says you can't do it, you're gonna do it. If somebody says this is too difficult, oh no, not for me, I'll show you. So there's an adrenaline rush that you love that can scare the heck out of you, but it motivates you. And when you do it, you almost have to solely let go. So something about sports and live commentary, live interactions, they keep saying you have some opportunities that will generate pretty rapidly from that. And next year is a year of decision making, but even deeper than that, discernment. Meaning it's both head and heart. And so right now, listen, where your money is yes, you have lots of irons in the fire and you're following through on all of them and you're exhausted. Okay, we know this, but you're showing up and doing amazingly, and you're supposed to be a little scattered right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let yourself be a little scattered and overwhelmed and make sure you find some downtime, even little pockets of it. But what they're saying is really start listening to your gut instincts. Like, oh gosh, I don't feel like doing this today. When you get up in the morning and you're looking at that list and you're like, oh, I've got to get these show notes ready. And listen, I'm not throwing shade on any of that stuff.
No, of course.
This is about you in your private time saying, okay, I just had a gut visceral reaction that was, notice that. And you don't have to change anything in the moment. Just say, okay, what is it about it that exhausts me? I'm going to do it because I follow through and I'm accountable. But what is it that is exhausted in me? Is it the administrative piece of things? You're outgrowing some admin in some things. That's also what needs to be delegated off your plate, which relates to trust. Finding people you trust to do administrative things. 100%, that is your level up play over the course of the next 5 or 6 months, is finding someone administratively that you can delegate to, that you can allow to take things off your plate so it creates time for your talents, so you can start shooting up that creativity, that spark, that fire, versus all of the linear thinking that's kind of imposing on you. Make sense?
Yes, 100%.
So the discernment is like noticing, you're like writing it down, noticing the to-do list, and notice when you go, or I can't, or gosh, I don't feel like that. Okay, let me just get it done. When you do that, just say, okay, and then also just take a minute, because you move at a pretty fast pace. Take a minute to just breathe, to literally just process whatever you identify as the emotional component of it. So if it's overwhelm, annoyance, frustration, that kind of thing, just inhale and exhale that so you hold a little space for it, and that'll create a greater pathway between those 18 inches between your head and your heart.
Well, you said next year is the year of decision making.
Yes.
And that gave me that reaction of like, no, I don't want to have to do it. I hate having to make decisions like that.
Because you don't want to let anybody down. Yeah. That's what it is. And you are a Pisces, so you all are deep feelers, but you also take on all the energy of the collective. But this is about not letting yourself down, and also knowing you're not a bridge burner. That's not really your jam, and you're going to give notice, and you're going to, or whatever it is, and I'm not, laying anything out perfectly right now. But when things start to bubble up and you get all the fear around communicating your truth, that's when, and this is probably your rocket ship into another dimension of living, thinking, and being, is trusting God. Trusting your higher power and saying, hey, God, hey, soul, I'm nervous. I'm worried about having these tough conversations and making these decisions. Help me. I can't do it on my own. And that right there, over and over again, because you are so self-reliant. You know this. Like it's felt good for a long time. It gave you adrenaline and it worked, and it also developed. It's part of a coping mechanism. It's part of innately who you are. But it's not your story today. So when you say, hey, I am at my wit's end, God, can you sort this stuff out? Because humanly, I just can't. I can't, you can kind of energy, let go, let God, however you want to think of it. But the more you do that and say, I don't know how to figure this out right now, but I believe that there's a way forward that's clear and that's going to feel freeing and true. Freeing and true.
I love that.
Okay, let's talk about love. Love. Are you single?
I am not.
You're not. But are you married?
Nope.
I didn't think so. I was like, you're not married, but you're so individualistic. Like whomever you are with, and you'll have to tell me your partner's name in a minute, but whomever you are with, both of you have to have your lives. I mean, like it is so, do you know what I mean? You do not like clingy codependent. No. I mean, it is like you have your interdependence, which is a healthy thing, but then sometimes it can also backfire a little bit. But like you have to have your space. So it's like they keep showing me you in this bubble, and we'll talk about it in a minute. What's your partner's name?
So remember when you said I was the host of the Carla Marie and Anthony show?
Is Anthony? Okay, I haven't even listened to the show, everybody, yet.
That's great. I'm glad.
And I didn't before, like, we connected. I haven't listened before because I don't like to know these things. So, okay, so Anthony. Okay.
We need our own space because we are also together working all the time.
Okay, all right. Okay, one of the things they're showing me is you two do work together, but you do need your space and you do need your energy. And one of the things about this Seahawks deal that's exciting for you is you feel like you get to go out and spread your wings, challenge yourself, play, and it feels like it's yours. And it's not, you two have a very healthy relationship. You just are also working with finding the balance between work and life, work and personal life, and those boundaries and where that is. The other thing is, too, he really appreciates your input. He's really good at listening to your input, they just said. Does that resonate?
Yes, that is. We were best friends before we started dating or even working together, any of it. And that's always who he's been, supportive and just, yeah.
I love it. And I mean, they're showing me that because not all partners are good listeners, and he hears you, and he figures out a lot of times how to respond, and it's like he really is contemplative in that way. And you also, they're making me smile about this, like at home in your intimate and your private time with him, you can unleash your crazy, and he lets you unleash it. I can't handle it. I've had enough. Like when you explode, because when you're pushed to a brink, you blow, and and you are compassionate and loving and passionate. But when you have pushed it down and been working and you're exhausted, it blows. And he knows to be like, okay, I'll see you later, or he's learned to be able to do that and give you your space.
Yeah, he definitely does that, whether it is work-related or personal, family, whatever it is. It's kind of like do you need time, or what do you need me to do, or how are we going to fix this?
Yeah.
He's not very reactive, which sometimes is frustrating, but...
Yeah. Okay, anything you want to know relationship-wise?
Well, since, unfortunately, he's not here to defend himself, but I think one of the things I have questioned my whole life is if I want to have kids or not, and I'm now 35 years old, still unsure if I want to have kids. I'm not against it. I just don't know if I want, or I don't know if it's going to happen.
I'm 42, and I'm the same way. If I had a child, I know I'd be a great mom, and I would jump in and all the things. If I don't, I'm kind of like, okay, that may be the story too. You're very similar that way, and one of the things they're showing me is you came into this lifetime to learn to be the child, to mother yourself, because you came in very adult-like and very responsible, so you're learning to be more childlike as an adult. And I don't mean immature. I mean joyful, lighthearted, playful. And one of the things, by the way, and this doesn't answer that, but it answers that, One of the best things you can do for your soul, for your personal enrichment and happiness, is surround yourself by friendships and relationships that make you lighthearted and laugh. People that are funny, joyful, just don't have a care in the world, but seem to just show up and not take themselves too seriously. Those people are the greatest role models for you on a personal and a spiritual level. So one of the things they're showing me is until you know how to almost mother yourself and allow yourself to be the playful, creative, wondrous child, you will not know whether or not you truly want to be a mother or not. And can you be? Yes, you can. But it's almost like your career and your work is your child. The other thing, I mean, like, you love to work. I say that all the time. Yeah, that's what they just said. So, and I had a psychic tell me years ago when this came up. She said, "Well, Amanda," I said, "whatever will be, will be." And she said, "But Amanda, you do have this point of attraction and ability to say, okay, if I want a child and maybe I can't do it biologically, I can adopt." But that has never aligned. It just, there's a history behind that, but it hasn't aligned yet. But I'm also getting very comfortable with the fact that I may not have biological children of my own, but I have children in my life that I get to show up and nurture and be a guide to. You will have that. Yeah. And you're great at it. And you're great with kids, and kids love you, and you're fun. Like, you're fun when you're with kids. So that's what I'm saying is, like, more play, more childlike wonder, and bringing that out in yourself. But you do have the choice to be a mother or not. But I almost don't think that you will have children. I'm just going to tell you what they're telling me. I mean, I feel like at the core of your soul, it's like, I think I would be good, really having this life of me being at the center of things. And I don't mean that superficially. No, I am saying that with so much love, because that's what your soul is like. Just say it. She wants to be the child and the adult and everything in between. That's your truth. Yeah. That's your truth.
I don't disagree with that. Okay. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's a big question to ask. And, and putting that out there vulnerably, I mean, just having that question and asking it and then hearing that's your truth. And I think it gives a lot of other women or people out there the ability to say, gosh, it's okay. Children will come into my life in other ways, and I can have a different archetype and a different story and still find my full meaning and purpose and develop those mothering, nurturing qualities within.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ready to take your travel style to a whole new level? With Roam, it's all about personalizing your journey. You get to choose the colors of your bag, from the shells to the zippers to the lining and more. And our expert team of hand craftsmen build it for you. With our 100-day free trial and lifetime warranty, it's a no-brainer. Visit RoamLuggage.com today and use code JOURNEY50 for $50 off. And here's a bonus. When you buy 2 or more bags, you'll automatically enjoy a 10% discount. No code needed. Start your design today at RoamLuggage.com.
You're ready for a comeback. And with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. It's time, your time, not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
He'll forget about the video game you gave him on his birthday.
Wow! Thanks, Grandpa!
But he'll never forget how you invested in his future with the UNest app.
Wow. Thanks, Grandpa.
Don't just give them any gift. Give them a gift that can grow with them. Invite grandparents and family friends to contribute to your child's future with the UNest app. UNest is an investment account for kids that makes it easy to gift funds that can be used for college tuition, their first home, and more, just by sharing the link. Or include a UNest QR code on party invitations for birthdays and holidays. For a limited time, download the UNest app and use the code IHEART50 at sign-up to receive a $50 bonus when you fund your account. That's code IHEART50 when you sign up at unest.co for a $50 bonus. See terms and conditions at unest.co.
What else?
So my entire family lives on the opposite side of the country as me.
Okay. Where do they live?
in New Jersey.
Okay.
So 3,000 something miles away from me. I originally moved out here for work. I don't really have to be out here anymore other than now that I have the Seahawks job. And that obviously is very important to me, but I can move anywhere with what I do at this point. But I love where I live. My family is constantly like, when are you moving back?
You have a big family.
I do.
Oh my gosh, they just told me they're big and loud. They are big and loud, and they have, like, when are you coming? I mean, they guilt trip the heck out of you. Like, when are you coming back? Oh, it was only for this short. I mean, they give you a hard time. And you and I are very similar in what I'm about to say, and they're showing me, is you get emotional whiplash, meaning, okay, I'm sorry I can't come, and then you're back, and you're like, oh gosh, they're going to be so mad at me. Oh gosh, I'm going to let them down. Oh gosh, I can't be everything to everyone. And that stuff right there is one of the things I want you to start noticing, because the more you feel that and you say, wait a minute, I feel guilty. Okay, let me inhale and exhale. I'm not guilty. I set a boundary. I can't be everywhere at once, and nobody's going to like or love me any less. That's the ultimate piece. But okay, moving back, it doesn't feel like it's coming anytime soon. I feel like opportunities will come from this Seahawks gig. Mm-hmm. You will have the ability to move, but I almost feel like you move somewhere. This is so weird, but I'm going to just tell you, Midwestern, when it is time to move. So I don't, if it might be Chicago, it could be, but it's like you split the difference is what they said. And you know what is kind of funny about that, and your soul is like going, is that you need a little bit of geography with you and your family, because then you can hop on a plane, you can go spend time, you can have them spend time with you, but you're still in a phase of really having your life, your independence, so you better know yourself, because once you're in and in close proximity to your family, and you love them and they love you for all the highs and lows, but sometimes you lose yourself in your direction. And that was why you moved. I mean, like, you were like, I've got to do this for me to stand on my 2 feet, to get my clarity aligned. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I never ever thought I would move away. And then when the opportunity came up, I was like, okay, whatever, I'll do it.
Yeah.
That was 7 years ago. And I remember at first being like, I'm so scared of being alone. I don't know how to do anything without anyone else. And then that kind of codependency you mentioned earlier kicked in, and I learned how to do things on my own. And there are times where I'm like, well, it sucks that my parents just can't come over and help me with something, but I've also figured it out on my own.
Yes.
So there's this odd balance of like, it sucks being so far away, but also it's nice because when I'm visiting them, we get quality time. I'm staying at my parents' house at 35 years old with them all hours of the day. My nieces, nephews, everyone, like, we get quality time. So it's so hard, but guilt tripping, and if they're going to listen to this, I know it, they do it to me so bad. Like, so bad. And it wrecks me every day.
I know. Well, and they're showing me that. And with your parents, they just love the heck out of you. They just want to be with you and see you, and you miss them too. But you're still flexing your muscles, finding your voice, your truth, yourself. But you are going to move closer. And eventually, you'll be in close proximity to your family. But it really feels like maybe within 5-ish years.
I believe
so. It's like there's a halfway point, which is a shorter flight. You can spend more time. But next year is a year of travel. You're traveling a lot next year. It's going and doing and traveling and being, and you're going to have reasons where you have to be on the East Coast. So you're going to have business reasons, business opportunities that put you closer to home to see them more, but also having them come out to see you and planning it and figuring it out and getting it on the calendar. I mean, putting that on your to-do list so that way you have it to look forward to, and then you set aside the quality time. That will happen, but right now you're where you're planted. But I feel like 2024, you are still in the Washington area, and it may be probably closer to 2025 or fall of 2024, you take a new opportunity that is, I mean, kind of a big step up with an opportunity. And it's a broadcasting opportunity, and it's like live broadcasting, and it really does feel like it is a result of this opportunity with the Seahawks and in the sports arena, some way, shape, or form. It's all interrelated.
That's cool.
And it's also on your own. And it doesn't mean that your podcast, the morning show, that that podcast, it doesn't mean that it goes away. It just may morph, and it may shift and change. So don't be afraid of, oh gosh, is this going to have to end in order for me to accept this new opportunity? No, things just morph, and there'll be a natural progression. I mean, sure, there might be, decisions and hard conversations, but it's also, it's going to ultimately be very aligned. So know that. Tell me your mom's name. They keep talking to me about your mom.
Anna Marie.
Oh, her middle name is Marie. Anna
We're
Marie.
all, there's a lot of, if there's Marie, if you hear Marie a lot, it's because we're all Maries.
Oh my gosh, she talks really fast, your mom. They just said that. And I talk really fast, but they were like, she talks faster than you. And she's very animated. As your mom, she's very animated, and she talks really fast. She's a gal after my own heart. And she has high energy. I mean, very high energy, very animated. One of the things that they are showing me about your mom and about you and your relationship is she really has always wanted you to be whatever you wanted to be in this life. I mean, she's told you that. She's supported you. Like, I want you to be happy, but I want you to be the best that you can be. Do the things. She encourages that. And then at the same time, she's like, but stay home.
But do it here.
Yes, but do it. Be anything you want to be, but do it right here. And yet at the same time, she's wise enough. She is so proud of you. And I know she would tell you this, but she kind of, and she does. But they're saying she is so proud of you, and she admires you. And I know that she will agree with this when she hears it, but your mom has made sure that you have the opportunities you have, and you have a really good mom. They're just, they don't always say that, and they're just acknowledging it. So shout out to you, Anna Marie, for being such an amazing mom.
Crying.
I know, because it feels so good. And you know what a blessing in this lifetime, because not everybody, I had a really great mom, but your mom really loves you no matter what. So when you feel guilty, or you can't be two places at once, you get to say, hey, Mom, I don't want to feel guilty about this, but I know you're not going to love me any less since I can't come see you.
Right.
Just say it out, and then y'all get to laugh. And she says, I know, but I still am so upset. And then y'all will start, you know what I mean? And then y'all will just start laughing about it, which will take the pressure off. And it also will just be easier. So you don't feel guilty, and then you'll have more time and maximize your time. Yes. So because home and, with all the responsibility stuff we were talking about this year, and it almost feeling like a burden, some of it right now is very personal and home and family related, not just your work stuff. It feels like, I kind of wish I had my parents here. I've got all these things going on. I mean, I feel it all over your field. And girlfriend, you're not alone in feeling that way. And at 35, it doesn't matter what age we are. It's still I just need my parents. I just need my mom. And you can pick up the phone and tell her that, tell her that stuff. And I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
A huge part of this year and next year, and next year is a year of mastery. And when I say mastery, I don't mean it's perfection or you master anything, but it's a year of leveling up, which means you grow. There's a growth spurt, which when we grow, we let go of things. And it can be fear, limiting attitudes, behaviors, that sort of thing. But your mojo, your fuel, is in really developing a connection with God, with your higher power. Hey, God, hey, soul, I can't figure this out right now, help me. Or finding some spiritual practices that you resonate with, because you love to learn. I mean, you can sit with a book or figure something out, and it's like, eureka! I mean, your moments of intuition, they're very claircognizant, and then because you are so Piscean, and you're very creative and Piscean, there's very much a lot of empathy and clairsentience, so the emotional portion of it. But I mean, you get aha moments very much in your own solitary, investigative journalist kind of time when you're diving into something. So finding some spiritual tools and practices, whatever that looks like, to really get still and go within and start connecting some dots.
My mom's going to listen to this and be like, see, I told you, because I'm probably the least religious person in my family, but I am more spiritual. I do need to be better at focusing at exactly what you're saying to kind of find a better purpose. But my mom is church every week.
I know. And there's candles too. Does your mom like candles?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, they're showing me the candles, and it's like, and to, I guess, your mom's mom, that grandmother, is she deceased?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, she was very, very religious, very devout, and it was black and white. Black and white. And so your mom is like, yes, I honor that, but your mom, is a little bit more flexible and open. So you get to find your way, but know that your grandmother is rooting for you to connect with your spirit, connect with God, and in whatever way works for you. Remember, we were talking about your quirkiness and your uniqueness is as long as you seek God, God will be revealed to you. And that's kind of where the path begins. So sure, you can go to church or have your rosary beads or your candles, but you can also get, a deck of oracle cards or some crystals or start going to a yoga class. I mean, anything just to quiet your mind and open your heart, right? That's all it is still, quiet the jibber jabber in the mind, still the heart. But your grandmother, what was her name? Your mom's mom?
Tina or Nicoletta or Nicolatina. She had like 3 names.
Gosh. Like your mom is animated and active, but I'm like, your grandmother just came in, and your grandmother, it's like whatever she said went. I mean, she was the woman of the household. Does that resonate? Yeah. I mean, the matriarch for sure. And whatever she said went, and she was a tough lady. And she, pulled herself up by the bootstraps, rolled her sleeves up, and made life happen and work. And she was very, very empowered. And she said, you're very empowered, and it's like it's her lineage, it's her DNA, and she is right by your side rooting for you. But she says, I want you to just have fun too. You get to have fun. She said, not that I didn't have fun, but I made sacrifices. It was the product of the time and the error that I came out of. She says, you get to work hard and be diligent and respected, but she says, you got to lighten up and have fun. She says, this hard work, you don't have to work that hard. It's not sustainable. She loves you very much. And she also, there's food. There's lots of food at her house.
Yes. She would always cook for my sister and I. But I can't find a charm that she gave me. I've been going nuts looking for it, so she doesn't have to tell you right now, but if she can help me find it.
Do you think that it's at your parents' house, at your mom's? Like in your room?
It could be. I had it here with me out in Seattle at one point. It's a little saint, actually.
Of course it's a saint. Because I'm like, I've got candles and rosaries and all of the things. So of course it's a little saint. I don't know if you wore it home or you wore it, but it does not feel like it is there, but it will appear. Okay. She said it will appear when you're not looking for it, and it'll be right at the right moment. And whatever saint it is, do you know which saint it is?
I don't.
I'm like, is it Francis or Guadalupe? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know.
I remember she gave it to me, and it's something about like the saint of money, or finances, something like that.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see if I can find it, but when she gave it to me, it was years ago. And right after that, I kind of like got my first big paycheck, and I was like, I need to find this thing.
I gotta find this charm, this saint.
I'm not even sure.
But guess what? That is a great place for you to just dig into some spirituality. Is looking at some of the Catholic the saints and what they are the patron saints over, and asking them to come in for you as guides and saying, "Hey, Saint so and so. Hey, Saint so and so. I'm struggling in this area. Will you watch over me? Will you support me?" Do that, and then start opening your eyes to synchronicities and signs and things that show up. Start there. That's a beautiful place for you to start. And one more thing that I want to bring up, because they're showing me very clearly, is money. Speaking of, money is one of those things for you in this lifetime where you want to be successful, you want to be abundant, you want to have money in the bank, but also there is this fear that I'm not going to have enough. Like, I'm always going to be working hard, and not going to have everything that I need. So it can sometimes feel like feast or famine. And that is one thing that you are healing, is finding utter security and almost abundance or richness internally. And you have the ability to actually make quite a bit of money. You do. Like, it's in your energy field. However, a huge portion of it is finding enriching life experiences and enjoying them. And when you have them, be like, wow, I'm rich. You know, like when when we have good friends or good people and you're like, gosh, I feel so wealthy. This is the best. The more you notice that feeling in your body and put that on your to-do list, like, how do I spend more time with people that help me cultivate this? You know, that is when your ability to attract more opportunities, and you will always have multiple investments. You know how you have the podcast, the Seahawks. You usually will have 2 or 3 lines of income streams business work. You just operate that way and you like it. Doesn't mean that it'll always be overwhelming, kind of like with what you've got going on now. But you will always have multiple income streams and you're not going to be destitute. Like, you're not. And there's like a deep fear of, I'm not going to have what I need.
Yes. There definitely
Yeah, I don't know. And they just wanted me to bring that up. Well, I think it was your grandmother that was like, you see why I gave her that? I'm like, yeah, I got it. She knew. She was wise. She was very wise. So anyway, is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to know about?
I'm sure later on today I'm like, oh, why didn't I ask her this? But I don't really have anything of me personally. I mean, caring for my grandma is awesome. I made my mom make a list of everyone in our family that I could think of or that she could think of that has passed away. Yeah. And their full name, how they died, and their birth date, because I was so concerned that you were going to mention someone or a nickname that I wouldn't know. And I wasn't going to know. Okay, but tell me this. Your grandmother that has all 3 names, do you remember her birthday? Her birthday is April 21st, 1925. We have to give a shout out to your mother. I love that you called your mom. You're like, I've got to be prepared for this. She did it so fast. I know. I know. She's a whippersnapper, your mom. I would like to meet her. Your grandmother, just because she was like, no, ask my birthday. She was extremely wise. She was tough, but she was wise. And she says, this is a time where you're tapping into your wisdom. Did she have something, do you know if she had cardiopulmonary, like upper respiratory stuff? Because she was like, just validate that it's me for her by something tangible. I was like, all right, well, show me. And so I'm like, I feel it in my heart. What did she have? She had congestive heart failure. That's what my dad died of. And she says, you know what? She's laughing. She said, yeah, my breath was taken away. I mean, she's totally making a joke as you are tearing up, which I'm like, okay, of course she would, because she's really tough. She said, it was my time. She said, I had lived, and I lived hard and large. And she said, it was my time, and I knew everybody would be okay without me. And it's been challenging without her, because she was a glue that held everybody together, holidays, things like that. She says, it's time for you all to figure that stuff out. She's really straightforward. She's right. She's like, y'all need to figure that out because you're inconsistent and you're not getting, like, okay, we won't really do this Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it is. She says, no, you need to pull it together. But she says, with her congestive heart failure, she said, it was painful for a little bit because my chest was so tight. But she says, once I eased into it, she said, I wasn't afraid to die. Like, she wasn't, and she said, I went straight to my Lord. Is your grandfather deceased too, her husband? Yes. Because she says that he was there. So did he die before her? He died before her, but they were divorced. They were divorced, but he was the one. Excited. Interesting. He's the one that was there for her. And maybe your mom remembers this. Towards the end, I don't know if she was reminiscing or thinking about old times or things that had gone on. There was a comfort in having his spirit there to receive her. It was a familiarity. And so it was almost like it superseded all the human drama and trauma and messiness. And your grandfather is raising his hand and he's saying, yeah, I was inconsistent. And when they say inconsistent, it's kind of it's a lot. And I know, he let people down. There were some challenges there, but he said, but I showed up and picked her up and it was safe. And it was the spirit that she fell in love with to begin with. That's awesome. Yeah. So anyway. Okay. So figure out some saints. Okay. That's your homework. Your spiritual homework is figure out some saints and ask them to come in as your guides. And then look and listen for the signs and synchronicities. Okay, so when we talk, I'm going to be like, okay, what have you been doing? I'm going to ask you, and I normally don't, but I'm like, I'm going to ask you questions. Tell me about your homework. Tell me about your spiritual homework. I can do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's been so amazing connecting, and I really want to thank you for showing up with your open heart and your big energy, but also with your curiosity. And curiosity is something that you innately have, and cultivating that and enjoying, figuring things out in a mysterious, kind of investigative journalist or detective sort of way, that lights your fire.
Yeah.
It does. And so investigating yourself, soul searching, personal development, that stuff is just going to light you on fire, and you will start feeling like you're soaring. And all of that weight of responsibility will start to lift, and it won't feel like just box checking. It'll feel more like holistic living, because that's the phase you're in. That's the stride.
Yeah. I've been trying to figure out what it is that I need to do next. And you even said earlier when we first started about sometimes I can't even put it, or anyone can put into their own words how they feel or anything about themselves. And I've been trying to figure out, how do I do what's next, or what is next? And I think that you nailed it with that of do more things with purpose and basically just get my shit together.
Well, also, but have fun.
Yes.
And surround yourself with joyful people, fun people, people that make you laugh and feel lighthearted, so you take yourself less seriously. And it's not about you not being serious and successful and significant, because you are already those things, but it's about you adding in the element of grace and play and flexibility and fluidity and fun to just be totally quirky and lighthearted.
Okay. This next year, I'm going to do it.
You got it. You can totally do it. Well, thank you for joining me, Carla Marie. I'm so grateful to be connected and excited to show up on the podcast.
Yes, we're going to do it. We're going to have you live, yep.
Which will be fun because we'll be able to take listener calls, which I absolutely love. So more on that. Everyone, take care. We are in a season of pretty high highs and low lows, so navigate that with grace. Also, wherever you feel overly burdened by responsibility, take a page from Carla's Soul's playbook so you can start to not just check things off of your to-do list, but really feel like you're checking things off of your living list. Thanks for joining me. I'm Amanda Rieger Green, and this has been Soul Sessions.
Hey there, ever caught yourself dreaming about the perfect luggage for your travels? Yeah, me too. I recently discovered Rome. They make luggage, but with a twist. It's designed by you. Imagine a suitcase that truly matches your style, made with top-notch materials and craftsmanship. And here's the best part. You get to try it for a whopping 100 days with a lifetime warranty to boot. All this, and it's assembled right here in the U.S. So, next time you're planning an adventure, remember to check out RomeLuggage.com and use code JOURNEY50 for $50 off your order.
CuriosityStream is the streaming service for people who want to know more about our world and beyond. And all this week, CuriosityStream takes you on an adventure.
Liftoff.
Yeah! Out of this world with Space Week. From the secrets of the universe,
we're going to look at things we've never seen before,
to the controversial search for Earth's lost moon.
NASA said, throw everything you've got at this thing.
Don't miss Space Week on CuriosityStream. With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at CuriosityStream.com.
When it comes to family vacations, there are a million different trips you can take. You can get your own trip to Texas. Or if you prefer a vacation from your family, you can always get your own leave the kids with grandma trip to Texas. So go to traveltexas.com/get your own for the only trip to Texas that matters. Yours.